Donkey Kong Country 2 is by far one of the best Nintendo sequels ever made. The original Donkey Kong Country was already a classic with its gorgeous visuals, its compelling gameplay, and iconic level design and physics. But Donkey Kong Country 2 somehow managed to take that and really evolve it to the next level while seemingly feeling completely fresh and new. It's hard to believe in some ways that this is a sequel that only came out about a year after the original, because in a lot of ways it feels very different in style and tone. Like, just look at these environments, just look at how dark and twisted they are. Just listen to the music, which has this haunting sort of vibe to it. It is remarkable how different it is, like, tonally speaking. The original DKC sort of established what Donkey Kong is, but 2 sort of did a bizarre thing in which it kind of did something radically different. Like, Donkey Kong himself is not even playable in this game. It's Diddy's conquest, right? Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's conquest. Diddy and his girlfriend Dixie are on an adventure to save Donkey Kong from the evil Kremlins, the villains from the first game, and that involves you going to their territory. And the game, of course, begins on a pirate ship, and you make your way into the island. You go through volcanoes, you go through these swamps, you go through these haunted castles, you go through this amusement park that it feels radically different than the original in a very, very refreshing, very compelling way. Although the game plays very, very similar to the original, the lack of Donkey Kong and the addition of a new character, Dixie, leads the game to feeling a lot quicker, a lot more agile. Dixie has different different abilities in Donkey Kong. She can float, you can use her in a lot of different situations, but Diddy is faster. The game, in a lot of ways, feels a lot more balanced than the original did, in which Diddy was basically better at everything than Donkey was, other than killing heavier enemies. In this one, it feels more like Diddy and Dixie have their own strengths and weaknesses. Like, Diddy is quicker, he can jump a little bit higher, while Dixie can float and holds items over her head, which can be useful in certain situations. A lot of people consider Dixie to be one of their favorite female Nintendo characters ever, and it's pretty easy to see why. This is a game about a boyfriend and girlfriend going on an adventure to save their friend. Isn't that awesome? That's really, really cool and really, really different than what we've seen in the past from other Nintendo games. Dixie is a really great character, and although I'm not too attached to her, I can totally see why she's so popular and iconic. But the game is mostly known, I would say, for its difficulty. This one is a marked, considerable step up from the original in terms of difficulty. You are going onto Kremlin territory, after all. You are going after their greatest defenses and dealing with their most terrifying creatures. Giant bees, giant floating swords. The boss fights in this game, by the way, are huge improvements over the original. In fact, basically the entire game, from a technical standpoint, visual and audio quality, animation, enemy designs, environment design, level design, everything, the buddy system, everything about the game from a technical standpoint feels like a massive improvement. The main reason I prefer the original, or the main reason I would say people do still have fondness for the original, is that it did come first, right? And kind of establish what a Donkey Kong Country game is, you know what I mean? And 2 kind of, in its way, kind of doesn't have the same sort of feel to it, right? It doesn't have the same sort of personality. A lot of things that people really liked about the original are not really present in 2. But 2 does such a great job, evolving the formula. It's hard not to love it. If you've mastered DKC, if you've done everything there is to do in the original, playing 2 is an absolute treat. It feels radically different, and in a lot of ways, but it doesn't really detract from the original. Like both of these games, DKC 1 and DKC 2, Donkey Kong Country 1 and Donkey Kong Country 2, are two of the best games ever made. Like two of the best platformers ever made. Like in part because of their how far they push the genre, but also because they're just so compelling and so much fun even today. 25 years later, I believe, DKC2 is 25 years old now. It still holds up as a phenomenally well-structured platformer with a lot of great moments. A lot of great design. A lot of great secrets. I think the main thing that made me prefer DKC2 for a long time was the amount of secrets. Two has a lot more replay value than one. Like one sort of has this feeling towards it where like, okay, you can 100% the game, but that just involves you getting all the bonus rooms. There's nothing really special about it. But in two, 100%ing the game, finding all the secrets, it leads you to an entirely new world, like entirely new levels, like freakishly hard levels that you have to surpass, um, and a new true ending, right? Like getting everything in two is actually extremely rewarding, and I think it kind of led to this trend of rareware games having a lot of collect things to collect in them. Like this is probably the game that sort of influenced Banjo Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64 in that regard, where like you do have to do a lot of collecting, you do have to do like a lot of busy work to get certain things in the game, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like the bonus rooms in this game are incredibly fun to find. They're incredibly fun to do. Like um, it, playing through this game like over and over and over again, it just never gets old. Like you're always like you're always learning more about how the game works, the things you could find. It just it's so good. One of the all time greats for sure. It's hard not to consider this one of the best games on Super Nintendo, and it probably very likely is. But if you haven't played this game, if you haven't gotten the opportunity, it's on Nintendo Switch Online now. I'm playing it. The footage I am showing now came from that. You can go on there right now and play this game. It is absolutely worth a time if you're a fan of the original Donkey Kong. If you've been hungry for more, like this is absolutely a stellar follow-up entry, like one of the all-time best sequels in Nintendo history.